The sun hadn't even fully risen yet. Soft light peeked through the curtains, wrapping the room in a warm, golden glow. You are peacefully sleeping on the huge bed, curled up under the fluffy comforter. Your breathing calm and slow. But that peace didn't last long. You felt something ticklish on your neck. You twitched a little in your sleep. Then again this time, a gentle puff of warm air. Your nose crunched up in annoying still half sleep. Stop it. Wake up, sleepyhead. Jungkook's deep, playful voice whispered against your ear. He chuckled as he slowly moved closer, blowing more air on your neck. Then gently kissed your bare shoulder. You groaned. Jungkook wasn't done. He moved to the foot of the bed and picked up your foot. You jerked slightly, but before you could say anything, he started kissing the top of your foot. Gently. Yeah, Jungkook, you finally sat up wide awake and blushing. He smirked. Good morning, baby. You tried to look annoyed, but ended up smiling. You are so annoying in the morning. And you love it. He winked, pulling you into his arms and burying his face in your neck. His arms wrapped tightly around you as he whispered, Stay with me for 5 more minutes. You leaned into his chest, fingers tracing the tattooed veins on his arm. Let me freshen up and make breakfast for you first. But he pulled back, shaking his head. No need, I'll cook today, you just relax. Your eyes widened. You? Cooking? He gave you a playful glare. I'm not that bad, okay? You giggled, kissing his cheek before getting up. Fine, I will freshen up quickly. When you walked into the kitchen, the smell of freshly toasted bread and sizzling eggs filled the air. Jungkook stood near the counter wearing a plain white shirt, grey sweats, looking dangerously handsome. An apron hung loosely around his face, and a little flour was dusted on his cheek. You leaned against the door frame, arms crossed, admiring him silently. He turned and noticed you smirking. Stop staring, you are making me nervous. He walked over and he gently lifted you, making you sit on the kitchen counter. You are not supposed to lift me like that, you said shyly. Why not? He asked, standing between your legs, his nose brushing against yours. You are my wife. He broke the moment with a grin and held a spoon near your mouth. Taste this. You tasted the warm bite and nodded. It's good. Told you, he said proudly. Then suddenly he dipped his finger in jam and lightly smeared it on your lips. Yeah, you gasped. What? He shrugged innocently, just needed a reason. He leaned in slowly and licked the jam off your lips. His eyes locked on yours the whole time. Your heart pounded lightly in your chest. He kissed your bottom lip gently and whispered, Sweet. Suddenly, both of you jumped. The guard stood at the doorway, eyes wide and clearly embarrassed. I'm sorry to disturb this intimate moment. Jungkook growled. What the hell do you want? The guard quickly bowed. Sir, your mother just arrived. You immediately stepped down from the counter, your heart dropping. Your mother? You asked softly. Jungkook's jaw clenched. Yeah, for 6 months. He looked at you, worry in his eyes. You nodded slowly. Let's go then. You walked beside Jungkook as the two of you entered the living room. Your steps were nervous, slow. It had been 6 months since your marriage, and this was the first time she was visiting your house. You used to be just a maid in Jungkook's house. For 3 years, you worked quietly, doing chores, staying out of trouble, until Jungkook suddenly fell in love with you and married you against his mother's will. She hated you for it, and now she was sitting on the royal sofa, dressed in an expensive silk outfit, her face cold and unreadable. Her eyes fell on you. You quickly lowered your gaze. Jungkook held your hand tighter. You whispered, I'm okay. He didn't believe it. His thumb gently rubbed the back of your hand as you both moved forward. Mom, Jungkook spoke first, voice calm but firm. It's good to see you. She didn't smile. I came to see my son, not the maid. She said coldly, her eyes still on you. You felt your throat tighten, but Jungkook didn't let go of your hand. You silently braced yourself, knowing this day wouldn't be easy. Jungkook's face turned hard, his grip on your hand tightened. You came here to insult my wife, he said, his voice sharp, eyes cold. His mother looked surprised and raised her hand slightly. No, not at all. That's not why I came. He looked at her with wide eyes, not knowing what to say. She smiled a little and continued. Actually, I came to invite you both for a family dinner tonight. Your cousins are visiting too. Jungkook narrowed his eyes, not believing her so easily. Family dinner? So you're accepting our marriage? She looked straight at him and replied, if I didn't accept your marriage, why would I come here personally? The room went white for a few seconds. Jungkook's jaw loosened and he let out a slow breath. His eyes softened a bit. Then, to your shock, his mother turned to you and said, I apologize for calling you a maid earlier. It was wrong of me. Your lips parted in surprise. You didn't know how to respond. I want you both to come tonight, she added. Let's have dinner as a family. No more tensions. Jungkook looked at you for a moment, then nodded. You'll come. Good. She smiled and stood up. She hugged Jungkook briefly, patted his back and said, I'll see you tonight. Then she left. The room felt quiet again. Jungkook walked to the window and stared outside for a moment. I don't know, I feel suspicious about her actions, he said seriously. He stepped closer and touched his arm. Don't be suspicious. She might have really changed. He looked at you. You gave a soft smile. She's your mother, Jungkook. I want you both to be together again. I feel like I should not have met you. If I didn't come into your life, maybe you wouldn't have been separated from her. Your voice shook a little as you spoke. You looked down sadly. Jungkook turned quickly and lifted your chin gently with his fingers. Don't say that, he whispered. You're the best thing that ever happened in my life. I don't regret anything. Your heart melted at his words. You nodded slowly. He smiled and said, Now let's eat breakfast. Hmm? Jungkook pulled a chair out for you and made you sit. He placed the breakfast plate in front of you and sat beside you. Open your mouth, he said, picking up a piece of toast with jam. You blushed and opened your mouth shyly. He fed you with a soft smile. Is it good? He asked. You nodded. Very good. You really made it with love. Jungkook chuckled. Of course, only the best for my queen. You laughed softly, heart full. As he fed you bite after bite, you silently looked up, your eyes getting a little wet. Thank you, God, you whispered in your heart. Thank you for giving me this man as my husband. You were standing in front of the mirror, wearing a soft pastel dress that Jungkook loved. Your hair was neatly styled and you had light makeup on. You turned and saw Jungkook fixing the strip of his luxury watch, dressed in a black shirt and matching pants. Jungkook, you called softly. He looked up at you. When we go to your parents' house, please don't react too strongly. Just stay calm, okay? His jaw tightened. If they say anything rude to you, I can't stay calm. You're my wife. You walked closer and held his hand. Please, for me, I don't want you to argue with them. Let's just try to make things better. Jungkook sighed but nodded. Okay, but if anything happens, I won't let it slide again. Just as they were about to leave, Jungkook's phone rang. He picked it up, his face serious as he listened. After a few seconds, he cut the call and turned to you. I have to go. It's an urgent meeting with the overseas branch, he said. We are not going to the dinner. I will inform mom. Your eyes widened. No, Jungkook, I will go. Don't cancel. What? He asked, surprised. Why would you go alone? She came after so long. I don't want to upset her. It's okay. I'll go, you said with a soft smile. He looked at you with concern, then kissed your forehead gently. If anyone does anything, call me right away. You nodded. I will. He walked with you to the entrance, opened the car door for you, and looked at the guards and driver. Take her safely. Don't leave her side. Yes, sir. They responded together. Jungkook gave you one last glance before getting into his own car and driving off to the meeting. You reached the Hughes mansion and stepped out of the car. One of the guards opened the main gate, and you walked inside with a polite smile. Your mother-in-law stood near the staircase wearing a red silk. Her expression didn't show much warmth. Your father-in-law was standing beside her and came forward with a kind smile. Welcome, dear, he said, patting your shoulder. Good evening, Appa, you said softly and bowed a little with respect. Your mother-in-law raised her eyebrows. Where is Jungkook? He had an urgent business meeting, so he couldn't come. You replied carefully. She clicked her tongue. So he sent you along? What's the point of coming without him? You lowered your gaze, your heart sinking. Some relatives were already seated in the living room. You greeted them one by one, bowing politely. Good evening, you said, smiling gently. Most of them just nodded with stiff expressions. Only the younger cousin smiled back at you. You sat quietly in a corner until one of Jungkook's sons looked at you with a sly smile. So you're the maid turned wife? She said with a fake laugh. You must be very lucky. You smiled awkwardly. I'm grateful to be with Jungkook. Another relative added, these days people rise so fast, working for a few years, and suddenly become the lady of the house. Your cheeks burned with shame, but you didn't respond. You just sat still and stared at the floor. I wonder what she talks to Jungkook about. The women continued. I mean, what do they even have in common? She probably cleans the house and he falls for that. Another woman laughed cruelly. You pressed your fingers tightly together in your lap. Your eyes felt heavy. Suddenly your father-in-law stepped in. That's enough, he said calmly but firmly. She is Jungkook's wife. Show her some respect. The room went quiet. Your heart filled with silent gratitude for him. One of the younger cousins came up to you with a smile. Don't mind them. They always talk like that. Another cousin joined in. Come on, we were just starting a game. Will you play with us? You smiled a little. Game? Yes, we are playing truth or dare. It's fun. Come sit with us. You nodded, happy for a silent distraction. Okay, I'll join. You followed them to the other side of the room, where the younger cousins were sitting in a circle, laughing and enjoying. As you sat down, your heart still ached from the harsh words, but their smiles made you feel lighter. At least some hearts in the house were open to you. Still, you couldn't help but miss Jungkook by your side. It was dinner time. The large dining table was full with Jungkook's relatives. Plates were being passed, laughter filled the air, and you stood silently behind, unsure where to sit. Just then Jungkook's mother looked around and said loudly, "Oh no, no seat for you." Everyone's eyes turned to you. You smiled nervously, shifting on your feet. One of Jungkook's kind cousins stood up. "I'll bring a chair from the living room." "No need," Jungkook's mother interrupted Goldie, raising her hand to stop him. "I already decided where she can sit." "Where, auntie?" someone asked, confused. She pointed at the floor beside the table. Your heart sank. The room went quiet. Shock was written on everyone's faces. Jungkook's father got up. "That's enough. This is wrong." She cut him off sharply. "Be quiet. I didn't ask for your opinion." Then she looked at you. "Well, can't you sit there? You used to, right?" You swallowed hard, your throat tight. "Yes, I can." You slowly sat down on the floor beside the table where the maids used to eat. Your hands shook as you placed your palms on your lap, sitting like an obedient servant, just like old times. Your mother-in-law smirked. "Are you happy now? This must feel like home to you." "You sat there for 3 years, didn't you?" You gave a small smile, hiding your pain. "Yes, I did." She served everyone first, one by one, taking her time. You waited silently. After everyone was served, she walked over and handed you a plate, the last one. "Here," she said. "You can also sit with the other maids in the kitchen later if you want." You nodded and looked down at your plate, trying not to cry. Just as you picked up the spoon to eat, the front door flew open. A loud voice filled the room. "One!" You looked up, startled. There he was, Jungkook. He walked in, eyes burning with rage, dressed in his black suit. He looked like a storm, wild, dangerous, unstoppable. The room turned silent in fear. Everyone stood up immediately. You placed your plate down quickly and got up, your heart pounding. But before you could speak, Jungkook rushed over and grabbed your wrist, pulling you to his side. His voice thundered. "What the hell is this?" You shook your head softly. "Jungkook." He turned to his mother. "You made her sit on the floor?" "She had no seat, that's all," his mother replied calmly. "What's the big deal in it?" "No seats? Don't lie," he shouted, his voice shaking with emotion. "You could have made her sit on the couch, on your bed, in the garden, anywhere but the floor. Are you telling me this entire mansion has no space for my wife?" Jungkook's fists were tight. "She is my wife, my queen, and you dare to humiliate her like this." His mother stayed quiet. He turned to you, softer now. Why didn't you say no? Why didn't you tell her you don't deserve this?" You looked at him with teary eyes. I thought maybe I still belong there. That maybe that's still my place." Jungkook's face fell. "No, Wine, never say that again. You're not anyone's maid anymore. You're not weak. You're not alone. You are my wife." Your lips trembled. He shouted again, turning back to his mother. "You always talk about pride and respect, but where is your heart? What kind of mother humiliates another woman just because of her past? You never accepted our marriage, fine, but this," he pointed at the floor, "this is not just rejection, this is cruelty." She looked away, face dead. "I won't forgive you for this," he growled. "Don't you dare insult my wife again. Don't you ever try to come near her with fake smiles. You're not welcome in our lives until you learn how to respect her." Without waiting for a reply, Jungkook held your hand tightly. "Let's go," he whispered. You looked around. Some cousins had guilt in their eyes. His father looked heartbroken, but you didn't stop. You walked with Jungkook out of the house. Outside, the night air was cool. Jungkook opened the car door and made you sit inside gently. He knelt down beside the door, looking into your eyes. Don't you ever think low of yourself? Wine, you're strong, you're kind, and you're the best thing that ever happened to me. Tears fell from your eyes. You whispered, I'll change from now on. I won't let anyone treat me like that again. He smiled softly, wiping your tears. Then he leaned in and kissed your forehead. Good, because you're mine, and I will protect you always. With that, he closed the door, walked around, and got in the driver's seat. And as the car drove off away from that house and that pain, your heart slowly healed, not just from the humiliation, but from years of silence and guilt. You were not just a maid anymore, you were John Jungkook's wife, and that meant something now to you. Thank you for watching.